the packaging just broke. What? Hey guys, it's Sanem and welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you are new here. Today I'm going to be doing a drugstore dupes kind of video. So I'm basically going to be comparing one side to the other side. One side is drugstore dupes to high-end products on the other side. These are great dupes that I have found for you guys and I think you're going to absolutely love them. So yes, you guys will see some great dupes for high-end makeup, and without further ado, let's just jump straight into it. So for my first dupe, I have a really interesting one, and this high-end product is really pricey, but this is the Bobbi Brown Face Base Priming Moisturizer. And this is basically a moisturizer and a primer in one. And it's a nice thick kind of gel moisturizer consistency. As you can see, I've used this quite a bit. I do have it in the smaller size. And the dupe for it is going to be the Nivea 24-hour moisture and express primer. So this is the exact same thing. It's a moisturizing primer as well, so you can basically use both of these as either a moisturizer or a makeup primer. And this one is super affordable. You can find it in Superdrug and Boots. In the US you can find it on Amazon, and it's basically the same sort of consistency. It is a gel moisturizer as well. This one just has a little bit of a yellow tinge, but they are great kind of moisturizing primers. So I'm taking a little bit of the Bobbi Brown priming moisturizer, and this one I love. It has a really nice like lemon fresh scent. It's super hydrating, and it makes your makeup last long as well, but I do like it as like an everyday moisturizer as well. Then I'm taking the Nivea one on this side. This one is just a little bit more kind of thinner. It's not as thick, but they still pretty much do the exact same thing as they both claim. So next for my foundation, I do have these two, which I'm hoping is going to be a really great dupe. And so for the high-end side, it is the Luminous Silk foundation by Giorgio Armani, and then the Maybelline Dream Urban Cover foundation. With the Dream Urban Cover one, it's very thin, it's medium coverage, and it gives you a nice radiant finish, exactly like the Giorgio Armani one. This one also, as the name suggests, gives you a nice luminous finish and also medium coverage as well. So the shade, this was pretty close. This is in shade number 3, has a yellow undertone, and this also has a yellow undertone. It is in warm ivory. So I'm first going in with the Giorgio Armani one. I haven't used this foundation in such a long time, and this is super pricey. I'm also putting up prices on the screen, so you guys will see as well once I put the, okay, there is a fly. Once I put the Maybelline, you will see how similar they are in terms of coverage and finish. So I'm switching to a different brush and taking the Maybelline Dream Urban Cover, and I'm just gonna drop that on the skin. Oh my god, the shade is gonna be perfect, I think. And you can see it's got the same finish, medium coverage, and yellow undertone. So this is what my skin is looking like with both the foundations on. So we have the Luminous Silk on this side and the Maybelline Dream Urban on this side. And to be honest, there isn't much difference. As you can see, they're both giving me a really nice finish. That's amazing because the Giorgio Armani one is super expensive and not really worth the hype like everyone says. Especially when you can get it in a dupe version. So now for my concealer, this one was a little bit difficult for me to pick from my collection, but what I did end up going with is the Jouer High Coverage Essential Liquid Concealer. for the high-end side, and then the dupe for it is the CoverGirl TruBlend concealer. And the reason I picked this is because they are both full coverage, medium to full coverage concealers, but they also do dry down fairly quickly, and I feel like the way they just set and finish on the skin is very, very similar. The shades are not going to be exactly the same, but in terms of the consistency and finish, I feel like they're pretty much identical. So we are going to go into the Jouer side. I don't think the shades are going to be exact. I think this is going to be more yellow, and the CoverGirl one is going to be a little more pink. I think, yeah, it's going to be... Maybe we can make it work. But this is the drugstore side. So let's blend out my Jouer concealer quickly. It does dry down to like a natural matte finish. Okay, both concealers literally dry down the same and the same finish. Like, I have to work with it really quickly. They dry down to both a natural matte. It's just the shades are a little bit off, which is fine because you can always buy a more yellow toned concealer in the CoverGirl or a more pinky one in the Jouer. It's just that I have different concealers, but oh my god, they are literally the same. I don't know if you guys can tell my under eyes, but they've both dried down to like a semi-matte finish. This one is a really good dupe. So we have the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Finish Face Powder, and I have it in Fair, which this one is super expensive. I think it's like £35, and then this is only £7. And this is the E.L.F Beautifully Bare Sheer Tint Face Powder. And I also have it in Fair/Light. So if I put them side by side, you guys can see the difference. This one is a little bit lighter. This one is a little more, just like a smidge darker. They both have a very, very, very smooth, flawless finish. This E.L.F one, I've raved about it before, it just gives you the most like flawless, airbrushed sort of look to the skin, and same as the Charlotte Tilbury one. They both have the exact same consistency as well. They are both smooth and creamy face powders. They don't feel drying, they don't look drying, and it's just like a complete dupe, minus the shades. It's not exactly the same. So I'm going in with the Charlotte Tilbury one and just setting my under eye. And this just gives you a really nice, flawless finish. Just gonna set a little bit on the rest of the face as well. Taking a different brush, this one is the Morphe M554. The other one I used was the E.L.F blush brush. And I'm going into the E.L.F powder. And same thing, just set and press underneath the eyes and do light tapping motions. So I feel like it's added a little bit of color just on the E.L.F one right here. I don't know if you guys would be able to tell. Maybe you can. Just going back over it with the sponge to try and lighten it. This is another good one. So this is the M.A.C Radiant Matte Bronzer in Beige-ing Beauty. I think this shade is sold out now, and this was a limited edition summer collection bronzer. This dupe is the not Makeup Revolution, XX Revolution. So it's a sister brand to Makeup Revolution. This is their bronzer in the shade Demo. And it is very, very similar to Beige-ing Beauty. But not only are the shades very similar, but again, it's also the consistency and the formula. So this one is just a little more pink if I blend them out. So let's go into the M.A.C. I'm just applying this the forehead, temples, bringing it back. Going into the XX Revolution. In case anyone comes for me, I'm using two different brushes. Oh, I just love, love, love the formula of both of these. I cannot believe how similar they look. You wouldn't even be able to tell that I'm wearing two different bronzers. Like, you literally wouldn't be able to tell. So now for my blusher, I did find one that was very identical. So for the high-end side, we are going with the NARS. Oh my god, it's like falling to pieces, this packaging. What just happened? The packaging just broke. What? This is the NARS blusher. It's a blush duo that I've had for a while, but this shade, they still sell both of these shades. I just have it in a duo instead, and they are smaller versions. But the pink is the shade Desire, and it is a nice bright hot magenta pink, which I think is going to be so fun to apply on the cheeks. And then the dupe for it is the E.L.F blush palette in Light, and it is this pink right here. So this one is the NARS and this one is the E.L.F. I mean, that's more than a dupe. That is literally identical. So I'm taking the same brush I used for the powder on this side and just applying the NARS blusher to my cheeks. Okay, so I can hear fireworks outside, and I was watching this TikTok video and someone said, and I thought it was really, really creepy, how you always hear like that one person that does fireworks like different times out of the year for no reason, but no one's ever seen him or heard of him. And I'm just like, that is so true, because there is a guy right now, or a person or whoever, doing fireworks, and I'm like, who is that person that keeps doing it for no reason? And then taking the other powder brush. The E.L.F one is just a little more pigmented actually. Go back in with a little bit more of the NARS. So this is what everything is looking like. It looks so good. Like, you wouldn't even be able to tell that I have, you know, like half a different face on basically. So the next dupe I have for you guys is my highlighter, and this one I'm very excited to see as well how it's gonna look on the skin. But when I was doing swatches and digging into see if this was a dupe, it seems like it's gonna be a good dupe. So for the high-end side, I have the KYLIE. I have makeup on my anyway, for the high-end side I have the KYLIE KYLIGHTER highlighter in Cheers Darling, which is a nice pale gold. And for the drugstore side, I have the Makeup Revolution Reloaded highlighter in Raise the Bar, which is also a nice pale light gold. So I'm taking the KYLIE one. Wow. Melting that into the skin. Taking a nice fluffy fan brush on the drugstore side, taking Raise the Bar. A little too intense. So the highlighter, actually the KYLIE one is just a little bit of a paler gold, and then the Raise the Bar by Makeup Revolution is just a little more kind of yellow gold. But actually when you blend it out onto the skin, you can't really tell that much difference. So this is pretty much the skin complete, and now we're going to move on to the eyes. So I actually already did a full dedicated video to this dupe, so if you guys want to check it out more in depth and see all of the colors swatched and tried out on my eyes side by side, then you guys can go check out that video. But for the high-end side, it is the Natasha Denona bronze eyeshadow palette, which literally just came out, and there is a dupe for it. So this is that palette, and then the dupe for it is going to be the ColourPop California Love palette. Looks like this. So yeah, if you want to see more in depth of these palettes side by side, then you guys can go check out that video after. But I'm just going to use a few shades from this palette just to create a quick little eye. So the first shade I'm going into is this one right here. This is called Beach, and I'm bringing this into the crease all the way in. I'm also dragging it out into the brow bone. Then for the ColourPop side, I'm going into the Bay, and this one is same shade. It's that kind of matte neutral transition brown. Going back in with a little bit more of beige. So for my lid colour, I'm going to be going into this one right here, which is called Silk, which is a gorgeous, nice kind of metallic light bronze. I'm just going to pack this one on the lid. I'm going to keep it very simple, I think. And the dupe for it is Diego by ColourPop. I mean, how identical is that, right? Actually, a subscriber commented that these two are dupes, and then I made a video on it to see if they really were, and then it is. Like, this palette, it's super expensive. It's £60 when you can get like a little mini version and it's ColourPop and it's still great quality. So for my mascara, we have the Too Faced Better Than Sex mascara for the high-end side, and then a dupe for it is going to be the L'Oreal Lash Paradise, which is this one right here. They have the same sort of wand and they both give you the same sort of effect, both volumizing, both lengthening, and it's L'Oreal. L'Oreal always do great mascaras. So these are the brushes. This is the Too Faced one, this is L'Oreal. I'm just gonna go ahead and apply mascara. Can you see, like, it just, I feel like it just lifts them up a little bit more than the Too Faced one. Now wait till you see this lipstick dupe. This is one of the best dupes that I've found to date. So this is the M.A.C matte lipstick in Honey Love, which is a gorgeous kind of nude beige pink, I would say, but it's a little deeper than your like classic light nude. So really, really, really nice, just everyday nude. And then the dupe for it, super affordable, Wet n Wild MEGALAST matte lipstick as well. It's a matte finish and this is in the shade Never Nude. So this is what it looks like. This is M.A.C Honey Love. This is Never Nude by Wet n Wild. So let's give it a go. Let's do Honey Love on this side. And then Wet n Wild. Like, that's a crazy dupe. That is a crazy dupe. I know it's looking a little peachy, a little summery, but we can work with it. It's still bronze tones and I'm wearing a brown top, so we can pretend it's autumn. So this is the finished look. This is the drugstore versus high-end kind of side-by-side comparison. Let me know down below, can you guys tell a difference? I bet you can't, and even if you can, it's a slight difference. And I think these dupes are honestly just so great. You guys can definitely save money. I cannot believe how good this looks, and you can't even tell that I have different products on different sides. So hope you guys did enjoy it, and I hope you're going to go out and buy some of these things. Do comment down below your thoughts, and I think that is it for me. So I hope you guys are all staying safe, and until next time, I'll speak to you guys all in my next video.